hell? Okay, I'm going to have to go live on YouTube. We are live. Hey, sorry, YouTube. Sorry to keep you waiting. Jelena isn't here yet, and it's like the end of the world. And can't get her to show up on time. So, welcome. It's Friday. You made it through the week. You made it through the last week that life is going to be the way it was. Now it's going to be different starting tomorrow. I mean, things are really going to change. That's what I think Jelena's going to make a bet with me on. So she'll be joining us shortly, and then we'll let the show officially start. Oh, I was thinking about setting up my background, maybe putting some books back there or something. You know what people do. Yeah, I'm kind of in my dad's house, to be honest with you. And I haven't redesigned it to be more matching my personality. Probably should. Get a Bitcoin sign back there. Behold the pale horse out there. The real Dr. Fauci. I have that book. I could display my books. That's what I should do. Did you know the title for today's show is part of a social experiment? Did you know that? We've been talking about the apocalypse all week. Do you think... I have to ask Jelena. I don't know where she is. Already 10 minutes late. I mean, I know she has a job and stuff, but how's everybody doing? You guys doing good this week? Thanks for tuning in for all the shows. Ask yourself, why did I tune in for this show? Is it because I'm a doomer? Is it because I can't get enough of doomer stuff? But it really might be the end. That's the thing. This really might be it. Some of the things I've imagined might happen are kind of happening right now. We're live on Rumble for the first time. So I want to welcome anybody who wants to listen to the show over there. We figured out how to go live. So we'll try to grow that channel of things. They might promote streamers, live streamers, unlike YouTube, which does everything they can to make sure nobody ever knows the truth. Are we going to get hit by an asteroid? Is something going to happen tomorrow? Just wait and see. I'm going to have to start getting into the news. I don't have my co-host here, so I'm really disappointed. We're supposed to have a show together. So maybe I'll play the intro and then I'll there were some things I wanted to talk to her about. That's all. What's going on? Oh, okay. All right. I'm going to have to make up the show. She says work went late and technical problems. So that's all right. I guess I'll be forgiving. She has a real job. You know, Trump is into QAnon, right? I got an email about QAnon. Do you want me to read that to you? Maybe I'll read that to you. I'll play the intro for the show, and then I'll read you this thing I got about QAnon. You guys can tell me if it's real or not. How do I play the intro? All right, here we go. And I can change the tab to show that the real show is actually going to start. Oh, I have to turn off this music. Okay, cue musical intro. Boy, that's brilliant. I do think some things in the world are real. Like you guys. You guys are real. Most of you. most of my listeners, I think, are not just in my head. I think I have the metrics to prove it. You've taken a leap of faith today. What is that sound? And I apologize if you take offense. I'm a little offended myself. Welcome to our show. Welcome to the future. What it is, joining you live from sunny California. It's a beautiful day today. I'm your host, Nathan Stoltman. I bring you the news, the real news. Yes, the real news, except sometimes it's like I have to decide whether this is a truther channel or a commentary on a truther channel, because we have been talking about the apocalypse. And then I want to talk about, like, if we talk about things on this show, does that make them come true? Is that possible, or is that just magical thinking? Because sometimes we do talk about things on this show, and sometimes it seems like we influence the course of reality. So I have to ask Jelena, actually. She's here. Hello?
Hey,
Hello?
can you hear me?
Yeah, what's going on?
Wait, I can't. Can you hear me right now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, look, I'm having audio issues. I'm trying to, because I can't hear myself, and my audio is coming out of my computer.
Okay, no problem. Well, you sound good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but it's coming out of my computer, so it's going to cause an echo.
Do you? No, I don't hear any echo.
For the audience, it will.
Oh, you think so?
Probably. So I'm going to work on fixing that. 1 second.
Okay. Is this happening because it's the end of the world? Or is that why we're having technical problems? Like, is it the powers that be?
Yeah, it is.
Is it?
In my opinion.
You think like supernatural forces, or do you think it's forces like that we can understand in the 3D world that's working against us right now?
It's nuanced, both of them.
Okay. Do you need me to leave you alone so you can fix the problem you're having, or can I keep talking to you?
It depends. Is the chat saying there's echo? Because they can, if there's no echo, then okay.
Hidden History says, no echo, yo, it's fine. And Brian M says, nope, clear. And then Helena says, audio's okay, Jelena. Then Graham Smith says, no echoes, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera.
Well, I guess we can keep it like this then. Okay.
Okay, so I was going to ask you, let me let you get settled. So are you just going to be, is your camera not working today either?
I'm working on it. There's a couple of different things. Okay, I'm trying to get settled, right? Because the sound is coming out of a different place. I already told you, I think I need to take one of those autism tests just to see what they say, you know, not because I believe in their definitions, but I'm a little bit rattled now. So I'm just adjusting to the vibe.
So one thing I believe, I don't know if it's a characteristic of autism or not, but I have the problem, and I know I do have autistic characteristics, is when things don't go the way you expect them to, does it make you freak out? Sometimes, like if things don't go the way you expect, does it make you? Are you panicking now?
No, but I'm identifying because here's how it works, right? I think everyone has a choice in how they react to things. I think that's basically the only choice that we have in terms of destiny and timeline and whatever else, is how we react to things, because they're going to happen. We have very little control over that. So I'm confronted with the feeling of panic right now. Like, I know what that feels like, but I'm not choosing it. I'm choosing to not panic while trying to calmly figure the situation out.
That's good, because sometimes I don't realize, like, there are ways that I react to events and things that I realize I'm not in control of, though. They say, you know, you can just control the way you feel about things. But sometimes things happen to me and the reaction happens so quickly that it actually wouldn't be possible for me to control my reaction, because my reaction is like instinctive and instantaneous. So sometimes I have an instinctive, instantaneous reaction, which is not the reaction I want to have, but it's still all the same. It is the reaction I have. And sometimes, yeah, if things don't go the way I expect them to, like I was freaking out because you weren't on the show. I was like, what
I
am I
know,
going
I
to do?
felt
I was expecting you to be here because if I hadn't been expecting you, then I would have been okay because I would have been just no, it would have been like a normal show that I was doing without you otherwise this week. But then this time, because I was expecting you, all of a sudden I felt at sea. I was a little lost earlier before you joined. I was a little lost. People can tell you, like who are watching the show. They say, "Oh
I
yeah, Nathan was like about to lose it."
that's why I was struggling with the feeling of panic because I felt bad. I was like, "Shit, Nathan's about to lose it. I need to get in there." And so I got in here as quickly as I could. And I
Great.
think that this is a really good conversation for the viewers to hear,
Mm.
because the focus in life right now should not be what is on the news, okay? Ignore the screens for the next 48 hours. Fuck it. The focus right now should be on establishing our game plans, okay? Everybody, who are your allies? Where are your safe places? What are you going to do? Think practically and realistically and calmly about the situation and connect with others. That's the key. It's not
How can
about
you
the
make how can you profit? That's what I want people to think about. Truly.
I actually this is a good segue into one of the topics I wanted to talk about.
Oh, good. So we're already having a segue. Everybody wants to know though, now that you were settled, I think we are settled now. Are you going to appear on camera eventually? And then if you're not, is it like, maybe being patriarchal that only I'm on camera and you're not? Mhm.
And no, I mean, it's your show. You should be on camera, you know?
It feels kind of like an unbalanced power dynamic.
Well, it is.
Yeah. Like you're just a circle. You're just like a vibrating circle of some sort, and I'm a real person.
Exactly, yeah. I'm the guest on the show. I'm the co-host sometimes. So I can be a bubble sometimes. I'm working on fixing it. I can tell you that much, but I've had a really long day and I'm building up to it.
Well, it's just people should just realize how lucky they are that you join us at all because you don't have to. You don't
Well, that is nice.
really.
Thank you. Yes,
Yeah.
good reminder.
Yeah.
And
You
I
don't have
enjoy
to.
being here. I don't want it to sound like I'm complaining. It's very fun, but,
I have to be here. I have to be here. I realized for my sense, I've thought so many things. It's so glad I have a chance to talk to you. I have a chance to talk to you for a little while. Also, I have to make sure we have to make sure we get all this conversation in, and then I'm also able to leave on time. So we have a lot of things to talk about because you missed the whole week of shows where we
well,
were
that's an
stuff.
unfair characteristic. I was there Monday. I watched the whole week. I know
Okay,
exactly what you talked about. I caught up. I did my homework.
cool. So that's cool. Yeah, I've been thinking about stuff. I've been thinking about conspiracy theories. And I was thinking also, I was going to ask you, do you think all this talk we've been doing about the end is making it happen? Like, do we have the power to change reality with this show, basically?
Well, my rephrasing of that question is, do we have the power to experience reality? Okay. We're not doing anything. We're just tapping into what's already occurring. We're tapping into the vibe. We're becoming the vibe. We are the vibe, you know?
We are the vibe, like we reflect reality. So we're not actually changing it, we're just reflecting it.
That's a way to look at it. Yeah.
And right now, the vibe is an apocalyptic one. Right now, we're riding the apocalyptic wave, or is it just me, or is it that a lot of people are saying it's the end?
A lot of people are saying it's the end.
Weird. So it's weird that that's what we started talking about this week, and then economically, I was looking at some podcasts. They're like, oh, crash and Zero Hedge. Their headline today was crash. Bad
Yikes.
times ahead. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you what, I am buying silver.
Yeah, that's probably not a great investment. It was down a lot today. So
Good.
you haven't bought it yet
Nope.
and you're about to buy some. Okay. Why did you decide to buy silver all of a sudden? Do you currently own any physical silver? And you're buying physical, right?
Right.
Okay. Do you currently own any?
No.
Okay, so you've never bought any before? You don't even know the process or anything?
No.
Okay, that's cool. Great. So tell me about the process. So you decided you wanted to get silver. Why did you decide you wanted to get silver?
Um, I've been watching that House of the Dragon show.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
I didn't want to, you guys. I really didn't. I
I
went
watched
5 weeks without it,
right,
but I
right.
binged
I watched it. I watched an episode just yesterday. I've been keeping up on it. It's important for us, as people who translate to the masses. We have to keep up with what the masses keep up with. So if they're watching Stranger Things, if people are watching Top Gun, if people are watching House of the Dragon, then we have to watch it too. So we know what people are watching. And we know, like, we have our finger on the pulse of what's real and stuff.
right,
Right.
and I avoided the other 2. I didn't watch Stranger Things or Top Gun, and that's why I'm annoyed that I'm watching this show, because that means I'm gonna have to go back and watch Stranger Things and Top Gun, and I really don't want to.
Really, because okay, this is an interesting thing. So, one thing about being a truther or something like that is you're like, oh, I'm not into mainstream stuff. Mainstream stuff is stupid. But then you go, maybe I'll watch Top Gun. Everybody says Top Gun. Let's just watch Top Gun. And you're like, oh, this is great. Yeah, and I didn't even think it was that great. But I do watch things. I watch things that normies watch. And I listen to music that normies listen to because I want to know what people like about it. That's why I listen to Jay-Z because I was like, oh, I better figure out like what that's all about. Given that he's like the has more number one albums than the Beatles and stuff. Like obviously people listen to him. I was like, oh, I should listen to him. I listen to other stuff too, other kinds of music. And then it's good to watch movies that people watch because then you know what people are like. And it's good to read books that other people read, like the Bible is worth reading just because other people read it. So it's worth understanding like what they're talking about. And
I
then there
just
are other good reasons too, of course.
Yeah, I was gonna let you pause and self-correct. I noticed that you take, like, a random dig at Christianity in every show. Not like a real one, but, like, a theoretical one. Like, you like to work out ideas, out loud. And
Yes.
people can sometimes get offended by that because you're too honest about your
Yes.
processes.
Yes.
Anyway,
Too honest. Yes.
I just
Yes.
wanted to say, I don't avoid Stranger Things or Top Gun because it's normie and dumb. Like, that's not my thought process with it. My thought process is those movies and TV shows that seem to kind of, I don't know, predict what's happening next or program people into anticipating what's gonna happen next really annoy me. Like, it makes me angry. Like, Stranger Things makes me angry that that is the type of visual, like, programming that they put into the masses consciousness of whatever, about, like, what alternate dimensions look like and stuff
I
like that.
see. I see. Because you think it's different and that they're lying or something?
Well, I just think that it's up to the individual user, like, it's different for everybody, like, let people experience what this unfolding is without telling them how it should look because then they don't know what's happening.
Hmm. All right. So you were talking about silver and you were saying you were watching House of the Dragon. It has incestual themes, I should say, in the show, which are it could be troubling. So, and I watched the episode with the incest yesterday. So, anyway, you were watching House of the Dragon and you thought about silver.
Yeah, because,
Why?
well, it's set in medieval looking times. I have no idea what time it is. In Game of Thrones, House of Dragon, whatever. I didn't read the books. I don't read books. But they have like actual tangible currencies and stuff, I'm assuming. I haven't seen any coins recently, but like they have coins and I think that's really cool. I like that programming. Game of Thrones is programming us into thinking like very old school. Like, how would you live if there was no electricity and we had royal families ruling everything? So I think we should have silver for that strategic reason. I think the
You know,
programming.
sorry. Go
That's
ahead.
okay. I only had one other reason. And the one other reason was that because they had silver hair in that show, The Powerful Family,
Yes.
like all
This
of them.
well, silver is good, and it has been money for a long time. And it does have like magical powers that people ascribe to it. And it does have some healing powers, some antibiotic powers. And then it's used also in like solar panels quite a bit. It's
Mhm.
used in technology. It's a very it can be used for a lot of different things. And that's also very pretty. It lasts a long time and can be denominated into coins and stuff. So yeah, it is good. You know, a British pound. You know how much what that was? A British
N
pound?
no.
A pound of silver.
A
A
pound?
pound. Yeah, that's 16 ounces, from what I understand, if I'm doing my math right. So yeah, a pound used to be 16 ounces of silver. You know what pound is worth today?
What?
$1.08 about. The pound is falling apart. It's part of the world ending, actually. Like the United Kingdom is like going to shit. The pound is collapsing. It's going to be worth $1 soon, and it used to be a pound of silver. So if they kept it, that's when you learn about money and stuff. And then in American money. So now you're learning about silver. You want to know what kind of silver to buy. I'll talk to you about what kind of silver I'd like to buy. You know, American money used to be silver and gold, right? It's good for people to learn this. They don't even teach it in school. They don't. They should
That's
teach stuff
smart.
like this, right? They never taught you that silver and gold used to be money, right? And that the Constitution like mandates that money only be silver and gold. They don't teach that, right?
Well, I didn't take any econ classes in college, so they might teach it, but I don't know. Not
Yeah,
in
no,
public
but
school.
they don't teach it to you in like high school. They don't say, "Oh yeah, by the way, until 1971, gold was money. Money was gold." And then before that, and it was also silver. Oh, I have a dollar here. I'll show you. Hold on, let me grab it because you were missing from the show. I'll grab it.
Hey, everybody. Oh, sorry. I know dead air is like the number one rule of radio. Like no dead air, and I just totally dropped the ball on that. Thank you
So
for
I
understanding.
I used to collect money, like coins. I was into it for a while because I get into things. I told you that, right? That's a trait. Do you get into stuff
Get
like
into
obsessed?
like, oh, like
I don't know.
rabbit hole?
I don't know. Yeah, like I was into collecting coins for a while, and one time I was into stamps for like a second, and then one time I was into yo-yoing and hacky sacking, and I was into like all these different things. I became an expert at. One of them was collecting money. Then I get over it. And then NFTs, like I was into NFTs. Have you ever been into anything before,
Yeah.
but not obsessively, like I'm talking about, where you become an expert?
Well, I'm a Gemini, so I kind of like flit around to different things. Like I get obsessed with things for like a week, and then I find a different thing that I'm obsessed with.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that happens. That's cool. So money used to be silver and gold. So this is, you see this dollar? Well, let me see if it focuses. Come on, focus.
G-dub.
There. See what it says on the bottom of the thing?
Um, $1 in silver payable to the something on demand.
The bearer on demand. This is $1. This is a silver certificate from 1957. And it
Wait,
says that this dollar bill is good for $1 in silver payable to the bearer on demand. So you could take this dollar bill anywhere to any like Federal Reserve bank and get an ounce of silver.
that's really weirdly worded though, right? Like the bearer.
It says on here, this is what money used to, like the founders thought money was important. So they said it should be gold or silver. Let me see if I can get it to focus again. Come on, focus. There. You see, it says it certifies there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America. So this certifies that there is on deposit in the Treasury of the United States of America $1 in silver, which is payable to the bearer on demand. So it used to be that for every one of these, there's guaranteed an ounce of silver just waiting for you anytime you want it. So, and as a matter of fact, the United States, like this note, the United States defaulted on this note because they won't give me an ounce of silver for this note anymore. So it's no good. It's not worth, it's worth $1 still because someone would take it, I bet, even though it's a silver certificate. So that's how dollars used to be. And then coins were made out of silver. So dimes, a dime, 10 cents is like 1/10 of an ounce of silver. That's why it's small. And then a quarter is 1/4 of an ounce of silver, approximately. And then a silver dollar was an ounce of silver, approximately. So those were coins until 1964. So I like silver coins, 1964 and before. I like those because those they call that junk silver, but it's not junk. It's good. And that shows you, though, like what money is worth, because if you have a dollar denominated in old American coins in quarters, like if you have $1 in quarters, it's worth like $20 now. So that shows people what inflation is like.
That's a really good
Right.
lesson. I learned a lot during that.
Great. So that shows you why silver is money.
But it also
Silver
shows you
is
why
money.
we're headed toward an economic collapse, right? Because this is what I wanted to bet with you about.
Okay.
You think an economic collapse is incoming and imminent, right?
Yeah. We're starting to experience it. So the only thing is like I was saying to you, nothing's going to happen. Everything's going to be the same. But no, we're starting to experience it. Yeah. We're going to have, the real estate market is really going to have problems, but the bond market is already in trouble. Interest rates are really high, and the dollar is too strong now. And I don't think it's going to get weaker anytime soon compared to these other bullshit currencies. So we're in like a situation right now. Like there's a situation and something's going to break. And I'm not the only one saying it. So you can find lots of doomers out there, but something is definitely going to break. And we're due for like pain.
That's what I want to bet with you on, is the date that happens.
Oh, well, it happens. It's happening. All of it's happening. See, this is a weird thing about the way the world works for me. So I'm like, oh yeah, you can see it coming. Then you think, oh, it's going to happen. So I made my show, I don't know, a few months ago, maybe, but before gas prices started going down, I was like, oh, there's going to be don't worry about inflation. I said, there's going to be a depression basically, and we're not going to have inflation anymore. But then time goes past, we still have inflation, like nothing's happening, but eventually that's where we're headed. And that's where we're headed. We're headed towards depression and actually deflation, which is weird, which people are going to think is weird, but is normal when the economy crashes.
I think you feel the way about the economic collapse the same way that I feel about like the shift in cosmic human cycles or whatever. I'm like, yeah, it's happening. Yes. It's been happening.
Yes, maybe you're sensitive to it. So then the next thing is how do you profit from it? So you want to buy silver. We didn't finish up. So you want to buy silver. What were you attracted to at first in silver? What were you attracted to? What did you think you wanted to buy?
I like coins.
Okay.
I have no idea. No. The cute ones. I like cute coins.
American Eagle.
Sorry, my Wi-Fi is cutting out.
Did you look at American Eagle?
Yeah.
Yeah, you like that coin? Yeah, that's the hottest. That's the hottest kind of silver you can get. You'll have to pay the most money for it per ounce because there's a premium for American stamped money. So American Eagles are like the kind of silver that you could collect. That's the most desirable of all kinds of silver. It's the most desirable, but you'll pay the most you pay a premium for it over the price of silver. And then, so it might not be worth it. So you can actually maybe make more off the movement in the price of silver by buying something that doesn't have a premium, like junk silver doesn't. And that's just old American coins. And then you just buy rolls of coins. But
Got it. Well,
Mhm.
and the other reason too why I want to buy silver is because I do think something is happening imminently. Like I'm not a date person. Even me saying this, I feel like my voice is doing the West Coast inflection of my youth of like uncertainty at the end, like Valley Girl. I'm
Mhm.
sorry, it's programmed
Mhm.
into me.
Mhm. Mhm.
But I want to have a bet on 924 if
Right.
something significant is going to happen.
Okay, we covered 9/24, and some people were asking me, where did it start? Like, why are people talking about September 24th? So it is important to know where it started. It was just that German politician, right? And then there's a video on YouTube of a guy talking about the politician that has like 200,000 views. Have you seen it?
No, but that German politician thing, it's making me irritated because that's not even why I think something could potentially happen.
On the 24th, you think of it for some other reason other than that German politician and other than the
Well,
Simpsons episode?
yeah. So, well, one thing I wanted to add, I don't know if you covered this part of it, right? Where the German politician who said that 924, everyone's going to remember where they were. Like in within that speech, he actually corrected himself and was like, actually, I meant February 24th when Russia invaded Ukraine, because that was like the context of the speech.
Oh, no way. You debunked it?
Well, that's the debunk. I don't speak German, so I don't know what happened, but that's the debunk of
Oh, you debunked it. You found out how it was debunked? Oh, I didn't
but
know.
But my point though, I don't think that means nothing is going to happen. I think that that means that's the cover story that they want to give to make conspiracy theorists look crazy. Because to normies, right, they see all these people talking about how on 924 something's going to happen. And if the first story they see linked to that idea is about the German politician, within a minute, they're going to get the Snopes of like, actually, the German politician meant 224, not 924. And he corrected it in the speech. And then you
Oh,
stop there. You don't go further into why tomorrow might be a significant date, which is what I would encourage people to do. I think there's something going on tomorrow. I don't know what.
really? Really? Even though you know about the DC, if I had known it had been debunked, then I might not have been in good conscience able to run with the title that I ran with yesterday. Because the title I had yesterday said the world will end September 24th, sources say. And so I thought I had that source, that German politician who said that something was going to happen September 24th that everybody would remember forever. And he was really just talking about the invasion of Ukraine. See, that makes perfect sense. Wow, people really are conspiracy theorists. So even though it was debunked, wow, if I had known it was debunked, it would change my thinking quite a bit because the Simpsons episode didn't do it for me.
Well, that's what I'm saying, right? Is that that's the purpose of this story. And hold on with me here. I'm going somewhere with this and I'll tell you when I'm done. Um, there's lots of reasons why tomorrow is a significant day, and it plays into the Jewish holiday. It plays into Shemitah years. I can't pronounce it. I'm not bad with languages. Shemitahs, you know what I'm talking about, the 7-year cycles.
Yes, I know about that stuff.
Right. It plays into the astrology right now. Like there's a lot of woo reasons why people think that tomorrow something huge is going to happen. And it
I
has
see.
nothing to do with the German politician story. So I think that story was almost created in a way to make us, one, think of the date, everyone, hey, look at 924. And then two, associate it with this kind of weird fake news shit, program shit. Because yeah, they don't want us to be onto it. But at the same
So,
time, they want us to create something. That's why they told us the date. Okay.
all right.
That's
So you want it. So you're saying something is going to happen. And I haven't even told people this show or this channel is demonetized. Super chat. You might have noticed that. But you can still send a message and support the show by going to buymeacoffee.com/lift the veil and
you want
leaving
us to
a
create
coffee, and then you can leave a comment. And I have comments left over from the last show. You can do it anytime. Buymeacoffee.com/lift the veil. And then Jelena, if you want to see her show, you can go to youtube.com/Jelena.
Sure can.
Jelena.net. Jelana.net. So you want to make a bet that something's going to happen tomorrow because I don't think something will. No, that sounds crazy. I mean, there is some stuff going on. Putin's talking about using a nuke. You
Yeah.
heard that? You heard that, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And
All right.
just to clarify, it's not that I think what I described is going to happen. I'm just noticing that as a potential reality that feels more obvious that that I want to bet on. I just want to put a bet out, a friendly bet.
Okay, and for a bet to be real, there has to be a real wager with real skin in the game. So you have some. Well, I would bet you silver, but it's inconvenient because you have to transport it. So for me to transport silver physically is kind of cumbersome and kind of ridiculous when there are digital forms of currency that move at the speed of light and also like don't require shipping and boxes and stuff. So so you have some Ethereum, right? So we could bet some Ethereum on it.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So
How much
you want? Well, I'd like to bet in denominations of dollars. So we can say dollars worth of Ethereum because I like dollars right now. I think they're good. I'm going to bet that nothing. Well, how does the bet settle? You're saying something's going to happen. What is the trigger point? Like, how does an algorithm say, oh, something happened today? What if it's in dispute is what I mean. What if you're like, something happened and I'm like, what are you talking about?
I think we settle it by having a poll on the Monday show and having everyone vote on whether something happened on Saturday.
Yeah, but what if people are just like simping for you and they want you to win the bet?
Well,
see, it's hard. You can't really count on the wisdom of crowds exactly. I've learned that. There is no wisdom in crowds. I've learned that.
I can't argue that at the moment. That's not a bad idea. That's not a bad point.
So you think we'll be able to decide between ourselves? We'll make a gentleman's agreement like, oh, okay, we're going to be fair about it. If something happens, I'll say something happened for real.
Okay.
Okay. $50 or something.
$50 in Ethereum?
Yeah.
Okay.
I say nothing happens.
I say something happens.
Oh, God. See, but you're saying it has to be something like really serious, right?
Didn't we already make the bet? We kept it vague. We can discuss it and debate it out if we need to, but I think we'll both probably arrive at a similar conclusion. I won't be delusional and say, "Oh, that's evidence something happened,"
All right, fine. Yeah, I'll play out my theory. My theory is that it's always better to bet like that over the long term. Over the long term, I'd say you just want to play the odds. It's always better to bet that nothing's going to happen because over the long term, more often than not, you'll be correct. Sometimes something happens, but it's rare enough that. And when things never happen, this is what I've learned. This is why I'm making the bet. Things never happen when everybody expects something to happen. Whenever everybody expects something to happen, that's the way you know that nothing's going to happen. Like the price of Bitcoin. Everybody thought Bitcoin was going to $100,000 in 2021. And because everybody thought it, that's why it didn't happen. If everybody hadn't been thinking that, if everybody had been thinking, oh, Bitcoin, then it would have gone up. But it's because people were overconfident that it didn't happen. So now we're going to test out that theory and I'll win my Ethereum. That's cool.
I like how I'm just betting you with the Ethereum that you gave me. Did we ever tell the audience that you gave me Ethereum? That
I told them, yeah. Somebody said, oh, I'm glad I listened until the end of the show because I was worried you hadn't given Jelena her money. Because I said it at the end of the show. I was like, oh, yeah, I left a cliffhanger that maybe Jelena wasn't going to get paid. But
no, I like the narrative cliffhangers we have on the show, like with the Adrian guy who we didn't know whether he was calling me a racial slur. And then we got that resolved. We're just resolving. We're having drama, resolving drama. This is just the beginning.
We got that resolved. So do you know somebody emailed me I was going to read this email before you joined the show. Somebody emailed me, and I was going to say about this show. Is this channel a truther channel, or is it a commentary on a truther channel, or is it a parody of a truther channel sometimes?
That's what it said?
No, that's what I'm asking you. No, I'm asking you that in general. No, that's not what the email said. He said that he thinks I'm close to the truth, but I don't understand QAnon. So, it says, despite the fantastical nature of Q, it is real. I feel that through your research, you must have gotten pretty close, but then were led astray by deviant voices, as mentioned above. Q is not a person or a bunch of Trump fans wearing flags carrying signs. Q posts come from one or more coders that work for or are part of the apparatus that is Q. Q is largely military, with some very important non-military people working with them. These people are part of what is known as the Alliance. The term white hats are good guys fighting a largely unseen war while much of the world continues on without knowing it. So yes, there is a Q, and yes, there is a war, a big one. And it goes on. It's a very long email. Very long, as a matter of fact. I can't possibly read all of it. And it's filled with questions like QAnon asks.
Can you forward it to me?
Yeah, I can forward it to you. It says, "Hey, darling." First of all, that's how the header of it says, "Hey, darling," which is kind of weird. Yeah.
That sounds like a good email, though. I'm curious about it.
Yeah, I'm curious. Yeah, you'll have to read it.
In terms of your other question, you were asking what kind of channel is this, or what kind of show is this?
Mm-hmm. Yes. Is it a truther channel, or is it a commentary on a truther channel? That's what I want to know, because I realized that we're playing. It's like a social experiment.
Right.
I think kind of live streaming is, but it's kind of like a social experiment because we're testing out things on our audience, titles and things. Like I realize I'm testing titles like, oh, what title is going to make people tune in? And then you test it out. And then we realized, oh, people like to hear about the apocalypse. So today was an apocalyptic title again. And we've tricked people into tuning in. But I try to deliver on it as well. But the portion is whether you know what I mean. The audience creates the show with us. The content is co-created by the audience in real time.
That's why live streaming is so cool. It's the best way to have a show.
People are constantly testing out different ideas, and they're seeing, oh, this is what gets people tuned in, or oh, this is what people want to give donations for, or whatever. And then they hone in on that, and then they focus on it. So then you get people following, and then that's how certain topics become very topical. So, for example, the way it worked, like with the trial with Johnny Depp, there's a lot of money to be made talking about Johnny Depp. So all of a sudden, everybody started talking about Johnny Depp. And then there was lots of content about the Johnny Depp trial. And that's how economies create content, create interest, and things build on. It's interesting the way the world works. People are interested in the end of the world. I realize that because I look into cults a lot. People are really interested in the end. And that's why I talk about Christianity, right? Because, there are Christians who are like evangelical Christians typically have an end time belief, a belief that involves the rapture and stuff, which isn't even in the Bible anywhere. They just made up this thing called the rapture, where we're all spirited away, and then there's hell on earth, and then we come back. You know about that, right?
Yeah, and I feel like we need to have a caller who's read Revelations recently have a debate with you on what you just said.
But well, no, because I don't know. I'm pretty sure it doesn't say anywhere in the Bible that there's going to be a rapture, and that somebody just made that up, right? You're
I
saying
mean,
it does say that? Or some people interpret Revelations to say that. Is that what you're saying?
yeah, I'm saying that I energetically feel someone in the audience yelling at the screen right now. That's what I'm hearing. It's
Oh, really?
funny.
Okay. So
It's
yeah, it's
humorous.
possible. Yeah, because I believe because Christianity, as it is, you say I really like what it says, like what Jesus said is in the Bible. And people can just read the Bible and see what Jesus said, and then they can learn from that. Beyond that, when it gets to the church and everything, I think it's kind of like a psyop, you know? That's all. And so it's a control mechanism, just like QAnon is. It's a control mechanism. It's like you behave and you will go to heaven. Like that's the easy psyop of how Christianity was used to control everybody. It's like if you behave, you'll go to heaven. And then and that means following the laws and stuff and everything else. And then if somebody came out and said, no, I think everybody goes to heaven. I don't think God's like that. They'd kill that person.
I mean, yeah, that's a version of history.
But that's how like humans are. We're controlled by conspiracy theories. This is what I
I,
was thinking this week. We're controlled by conspiracy theories. Like there's this conspiracy theory about the end of the world, which Jews have. They have a crazy one. Like Jews have a really crazy one. And then Jared Kushner is part of a subsect of like this crazy Jewish cult, which people say I was like anti-Semitic for talking about it because they're trying to bring about the end of the world. So lots of people have crazy end of the world conspiracy theory beliefs, and it helps keep them in line. Conspiracy theories are important. They keep us in line and they give us meaning and purpose. So if you want to believe the world's going to end, that's important because it gives us meaning and purpose. This is what I've been thinking about this week. I was like, humans need meaning in our lives. Otherwise, we might kill ourselves. Like it's life and death for us to have some kind of meaning in our lives. So we come up with it. Like we have a biological imperative to come up with meaning in our lives. And if we don't have any, then we'll make it up and we'll like grasp onto some belief that gives us meaning. And so like QAnon is perfect for that because all you have to do is post memes about Trump and you're helping to save the world. So that it's perfect for giving people meaning when really especially in the face of like real opposition. It's like people hate you for your beliefs, but because of your beliefs, like you're going to change the world, you know?
I think it's probably worthwhile to differentiate between QAnon and Q, right? Because QAnon, from what I can tell, is basically the community that formed around Q, filled with genuine people and grifters and con artists and innocent bystanders and whatever. But like, and Q though is the thing. That's like the entity the dude in the email is talking about, right?
Oh yeah. I don't. I have no idea what that guy's talking about, or if he's serious, or he or she, or I don't know. It sounds to really believe that the QAnon posts, because the QAnon posts haven't been going on for a long time. So people are just making stuff up and they call it QAnon now. So it is like a community of people that typically believe in like outlandish conspiracy theories, like that Trump won the election, for example. Oh, no, he didn't say that. Just kidding. He would definitely.
I don't know. I think it would be good to just have a very expert level overview understanding of what the current state of Q is and what it was and what's going on with it, because clearly it's going to have an impact. It's already having an impact if the number one contender for the Republican nomination for president is retweeting or retruthing Q memes. Like, we need to know what's going on.
There's an article in the Rolling Stone today that says F if I know. That's the headline. F if I know. Nobody knows why he's promoting QAnon. That's what the article says. It's like his even the people that follow Trump, his supporters and stuff, don't know why he's going off on QAnon. And some of them are saying it's just to it's just because he thinks it's funny. Just because he thinks he's like, oh, they love me. So, and it's fun, and they have funny memes. That's what they say. That's
I
why
don't
he's
think
retweeting.
I don't think that's his thought process.
Well, I'll tell you. I'll just tell you what's in here. This is what this article says. God, I need some new technology or something. What kind of computer do you have?
I have a MacBook Air.
God, and it totally works, right? But you probably don't have as many tabs open as I do.
I don't know, maybe the M1 chips.
Oh, you have
Or
the M1 chip? Oh, I'm thinking about getting that. Yeah, I'm thinking about
pretty
getting that.
dope.
Yeah. So this is what the Rolling Stone article says. It says, F if I know, Trump's embrace of QAnon baffles allies. The former president has been using, so it says that he says, quote, says another person close to Trump. It says, quote, he said that he thinks some of their memes and images are funny. He also sometimes mentions that it's hilarious to make people like you in the media so mad when you see him touch the Q shit. But to be fair, he says they're some of his biggest fans, which is his thing. That's what I think. It's like people love it. The Q people love him. So he can't. So he's just like, well, fuck it.
I mean, look, Trump is a Gemini, and what people need to keep in mind is that, yeah, he probably did say that. He probably did write it off as a joke. That's what Geminis do. But there's obviously another reason why he's been retweeting Q. Like there's some retruthing, sorry, Q stuff. He's getting involved with Q for a reason, and it's deeper than it's funny or it'll activate the base, or the base is down to be activated by this funny
It's
meme.
deeper than that, huh?
Yeah.
I wonder.
Because
I wonder if
keep in mind, you brought up Jared Kushner, right? That's his son-in-law.
Yeah, I know.
He is the one who, what did he do with Jerusalem when he was president?
He moved the embassy.
He moved the embassy to Jerusalem. There's something going on. They have like 5 red kefirs or something like that. Have you looked into that?
Yeah. The Jews are really funny they have some of the funniest end times beliefs. And it's really weird. Everybody makes fun of Christians, right? That's normal. People make fun of Christians, but nobody makes fun of Jews for their crazy like end times prophecy where they're going to have like 5,000 Gentile slaves eat. Yeah, they have to have a red heifer. There's 5 of them now. Apparently, when a red heifer is born, it has to be all red, I believe. If it's born in Israel, then that's a sign that the end might be here. And then I don't know if it's because you have to sacrifice it. The third temple is going to be set up for blood sacrifices, right? It has to be.
That's not good.
Yeah. This is what Jews believe. Is I don't know if it's all of them but the third temple is it has to be set up for sacrifices because they sacrifice animals there, like cows. They sacrifice cows and stuff. And they plan to keep doing that.
Right. And so the Trump thing, back to him, I'm saying it's way more than a joke. I'm saying that he's LARPing out some shit. His name is Trump for a reason. There's trumpets at Revelation. I know that sounds silly, but there's something going on. He's a Leo rising, I think it is, very lion type of vibe. There's a lot there that he's playing into. I think he really thinks that he's playing a huge part in this kind of endgame situation. And people who really are convinced of that, like him and Putin, are going to go through with it. They're going to LARP until they die. Okay. So this is not a drill. This is not a joke. This is something to pay attention to because I think they're playing something out.
Okay, well, we'll find out. We're going to have more conversations about this. You might have to come on the show more often because I have to get going tonight. I have to go out to dinner with my wife, but we have to talk more about this stuff and I have to read what people's coffees are. So, but we have a bet. It's $50 in Ethereum, which will settle by Monday. And you'll be on the show Monday, right?
I plan to, yes.
If you can make it and if you don't have technical problems.
Yeah.
We didn't get any coffees yet this show. I didn't plug it early enough. You still have a moment if you want to send a message to the show, like how much you like it. You can buy coffees and go by going to buymeacoffee.com/lifttheveil, or donate on Rockfin. And thanks people on Rockfin who did donate this show. Vogan Filter said coffee and weed are a great combo to start each day. Gosh, that's controversial. People are saying weed makes you crazy now. That's the new thing that the alternative media says. They're like, oh, weed makes people crazy. It's dangerous. Fed Up Canadian, thanks for the tip. And Michelle Obama is a man, thanks for the tip, who says, I was discussing the Ukraine situation with a friend a couple of months ago, and my prediction was that we were all getting dragged into World War III and that someone is going to set off a nuke. I still think this is the case. Okay, so he believes there's going to be a nuke. Farfar Magargar, that's a fake name. Farfar Magargar bought 5 coffees and says, your show is the best. NaughtyFairy70@gmail.com says, I believe our government is sitting at a table with Lucifer himself, a bunch of psychopaths with power and money, but sold their souls. We are just worthless eaters, and they love to slowly watch us suffer. I also believe the queen was a reptile who ate little children. So that's good. I asked people about their conspiracy theory beliefs because I said it's important to have them, and people should be able to express them too. So if you believe the royal family is lizards that eat babies, you should be able to express that. And I appreciate you expressing it on my coffee wall. Thanks, Colin, who said, thank you for the years of great talks and the insightful information you have shared. Your uniqueness and approach to various topics is valued. Isn't that nice?
That's very nice.
It is a unique show. AC bought coffees. Jim from Baltimore got coffees. He said that show was on fire, and I hope for more without old Susie Q. Wojcicki striking you down. He said Wojcicki. See, that can be considered a slur. What is her name? Wojcicki. What is it again?
Wojcicki.
Wojcicki. I can't remember. He said, it really got and gets under my skin, the amount of censorship. So many channels long gone. Long live LTV. Yes, thank you. Long live LTV indeed. And thanks, Brian M., who bought a coffee after a little prompting. All right, I have to get going. We were having a good conversation. I would go longer. Hello, what?
Oh, sorry. I said bummer. Bummer.
I know. Sorry, I have to get going today. But we'll do shows again next week. You're available Monday?
I can be available Monday.
Okay, maybe Wednesday?
I am unavailable the rest of the week.
Oh, even Friday?
Right.
Okay, wow. So we'll have to settle our bet. And then
Don't act like I didn't tell you this a month ago, Nathan. Don't wow me.
Oh, you already told me. Oh, yeah, sorry.
I told you a month ago, and then I told you 2 weeks ago because I knew you would have forgot, and then I told you this week again.
Okay, that's right.
Well, hey guys in the audience, thanks for listening to the show and getting this far in the broadcast. If you're still listening, I appreciate it. I know it's weird to watch a show where a guy's just streaming by himself most of the week, but hey, let's give Nathan a round of applause. He did a show every weekday this week. I'm so proud of him. Great job, Nate. Keep it up. Solo streams are awesome. Thanks for having me on the days that I'm available and can do it. It's a lot of fun. So thanks.
Thank you. And you're going to be live on Sunday doing your thing?
I will be live on Sunday, youtube.com/Jelena, at probably 8 p.m. Central Time.
Okay, sounds good. All right, everybody. Thanks for tuning in. Good talking to you. Think about it. Think about the things we talked about today. Think about the things we talked about today and how they apply to your life. And then we'll see if the world ends tomorrow. And if it does, I promise I'll do a live stream.
Oh, wait.
On the day the world ends, I promise I'll be live streaming as long as I have power and internet.
That's promise. Super nice.
Yeah.
Wait, I just wanted to say what? Hidden History just bought you 5 coffees.
Oh, thank you, Hidden History.
And he says,
how do you keep track of my coffees so well?
Because I'm your unofficial business manager. Can I read his comment? It's a good one.
Yes. Yes.
It says, to one of my fave truthers, go hard on the psyops. Don't fear censorship or what the normies think of your content. That's LTV right there to me. Just be yourself. Do what you're doing.
Go
Good
hard on
job.
the psyops. All right. Good. All right. Well, we did it. We made it through the week. That's good. So, all right, cool. Well, thanks everybody for the support. I really appreciate it. Thanks everybody who supports me at buymeacoffee.com. Everybody who goes to buymeacoffee.com/lift the veil is supporting my streaming in a real sense, because like if the more you guys do that, the more it's okay for me to keep streaming and not have a regular job like Jelena, because Jelena can only join me one day next week because she has a job. But right now I'm not employed, but I still do need to show my wife that I like am productive. That's all. Then I'd be like, hey, Katie, look, some people want me coffees.
Yes.
Like that.
Cheers to that.
All right, cool. Thanks everybody for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next one. That is what it is. And then I have to press. It takes a long time to hit the end.